So AEW is building two Grand Slam, and right before it, we have the AEW Dynamite. I guess the go-home show before another AEW Dynamite. And there were a couple of things that stuck out to me, Bob, and a couple of things I have question marks for. So here are the three big things from the review of AEW Dynamite. The first one is Double J is over. Jeff Jarrett, Hangman Adam Page. I
Unbelievable.
don't know if this feud's happening at AEW Grand Slam or at a later date, but this has been building for a while. Double J, the baby face, the guy that Hangman screwed over, beat him in the first round of the Owen Hart Classic, has been, kind of going against him at every turn. We've had chair shots, we've had guitar shots, we've had his wife getting involved. I respect Jeff Jarrett. I always have. He knows wrestling. The man is
He
from
does.
a lineage of wrestlers. He knows in another world he would be Hulk Hogan. Okay, if we could do this all over again, there's a chance he could be Ric Flair. Absolutely, but I never expected him to be over this much in AEW at this point in his career. My man got babyface pops when his music
It's
hit. When he
unbelievable.
was doing his promo, I felt it, and the crowd felt it. And again, Hangman Adam Page versus Jeff Jarrett should be an AEW Rampage match, let alone headlining some AEW Dynamite or pay-per-view in the future. But I am bought in. Do you, my friend, care at all, or are you surprised at all that Double J is this over in the year of our Lord 2024?
I am shocked at the state of Jeff Jarrett right now. Just completely shocked. Do you remember that Texas Chainsaw Massacre match with Jeff Jarrett? Like, I
Yeah.
thought he was on the midst of in the midst of one of the worst runs of all time,
Yeah.
and now he's like one of the biggest stars in AEW. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. If you look at Jeff Jarrett's career, it's almost more impressive than like Hulk Hogan's. It's just the longevity. He's like a cockroach. He just gets fired from everywhere, returns, starts global championship wrestling. He's selling gold. I don't know. He sold bricks of gold for 2 weeks. This guy's done everything. And now he's a big time babyface against Hangman Page, who I'm not the biggest Hangman Page fan, but he's so much better. He's unbelievable as this heel with the ridiculous mustache. He's got the look down. He needs to keep this going for a while. And I'm all in on a match between Hangman Page and Jeff Jarrett, and I can't believe I'm saying that. I really
It's
can't.
crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and I'm with you.
It's stunning.
I want to see this feud happen. I want to see Hangman close the door on Jeff Jarrett, or I want to see Jeff Jarrett get his comeuppance. I like this. I can't believe I'm saying it. I like it. I'm all for it. Now, if only Chris Jericho could get there. Second thing I want to pull from the AEW Dynamite review, and it has nothing to do with Chris Jericho, even though they opened the match with a 20-minute Chris Jericho match. Tony Khan, figure your shit out. I want to talk about Wheeler Yuta because I think it's really interesting that, we know that Bryan Danielson got essentially murdered in front of all of us at the end of a pay-per-view, and Wheeler Yuta was held back by Pac, and now Jon Moxley and Claudio and Pac and Marina Shafir, they're all going down the evil route with those tight white T-shirts showing off the muscles, except for Pac, who's still in his wrestling tights. That doesn't make sense. But again, I'm not booking this show. Wheeler Yuta has not shown up to the Blackpool Combat Club. They've not been answering the text chain. Wheeler Yuta has, and he comes on stage and his mind's all over the place, and he says he'll defend those trios titles with the Blackpool Combat Club. He's a fighting champion. Wheeler Yuta's broken bad in the opposite way. He's going to stay a babyface here, and at least I hope he does, and I really enjoy that. But my idea for you, Bob, because we've seen this happen before, the stable turns heel, except for that one babyface stays babyface. We know how that gimmick works. If we have a trios championship and Jon Moxley holds one, not Jon Moxley, he's the Haas. He's going to go for the big titles. If Claudio and Pac hold 2 of the 3 belts, you know what I really want to see that won't happen? Wheeler Yuta goes off, does his thing. They have their battle. Keep the trios belts on the Blackpool Combat Club. Keep this trios people important, but don't add Jon Moxley. Put a belt on Marina Shafir. If she is going to be as evil and as crazy and as scary as she can be, you can protect her in a trios match against 3 other dudes on the other side. That's what trios championships are for. Put the title on her and say, come beat us. We'll face you 3 versus anyone. I think that would put Marina Shafir on the status and the plateau that they need her to be on to be this character that they're trying to create for her. Because I've never been impressed with her wrestling work. But if you're going to make her an absolute animal, a bully that you need to be scared of, put her in matches right now against men on the other side, and you could make that work and be believable. And I think it's the ultimate way to get her over. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, they got a bajillion jobbers. We created a jobber of the week gimmick. Have a jobber lose to Marina Shafir next week. Machina Fafir, Marina Shafir next week. Have her beat her jobber, build her up, and then have her as defend the trios titles against men, because we've already seen that she can beat men. Or Peter Alonso, the librarian, if that guy's still around, bring him back. But yeah, I agree with you. I like that idea a lot. I don't give a damn about the trios titles at
Neither
all.
do
So
I.
if they can do anything to make me interested, I'll be interested in that for a week. If it sucks, I won't want to see it again. So they got to make sure it's right. But yeah, I'm not sold on the whole new Blackpool Combat Club yet. I think you are. I think you're higher on it than me. I think you're really into John Moxley's new character. I'm into it. I just
Moxley,
want to see what they have planned for moving forward. But
yeah, it's mostly Moxley. This is the most excited I've
yeah.
been for Moxley in quite some time. And again, we'll see what happens between him and Darby at Grand Slam to see who faces Bryan Danielson, because this is the third thing I've pulled from AEW Dynamite in this little Dynamite review here. We're building the Grand Slam. We ended Dynamite, or one of the final episodes of Dynamite a week and a half ago was Nigel McGuinness coming out and say, I'll be the man fighting Bryan Danielson at Grand Slam. And yet this week on Dynamite, nobody watches Collision, nobody watches Rampage. Okay, Dynamite is your show where you have to promote the next week of things. There was no Bryan Danielson. There was no Nigel McGuinness. This is a world title fight you're having a week from today between two men that have decades of history. I understand you're playing the angle of Bryan Danielson not being cleared to compete. I get that. But if this match is happening and you have 1 hour, 2 hours to sell us after we just learned about it a week before and you don't do anything, I was disappointed isn't even the word, like the beginning of the word I would use for that. Bob, you know the history between these two men. All they've done so far is had Nigel stand in the middle of the ring and saying, "I will be facing him." End quote. Is that enough of a build for you?
No, because you got to Google Nigel McGuinness. Like if you're a new fan, you got to Google that he used to be a wrestler. I want to see a bunch of stuff. I want to see their history in Ring of Honor. You own Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
You use the library. It's just that's one of the many issues I have with AEW is just they don't build things up properly. They'll deliver an incredible show, but half the people watch it that should have, because you screwed up the build to it. But yeah, I agree. The not having anything about Danielson on the show is ridiculous. Just disappointing. But again, it will be a great match next week at Grand Slam. But it's just I don't think more people would have tuned in and given a shit about it if they hyped it up better.
Anything. Just do legitimately
Yeah.
anything, Tony. Just anything at all. But hey, that's it for the AEW Dynamite review.